Welcome to the NDE WORLD Podcast, where we explore the magical, mystical and spiritual world of near-death experiences. And now, Ashton Lewis and Daphne Lynn.
Welcome back to the NDE WORLD Podcast. I am your host, Ashton Lewis. And this is my lovely hostess, Miss Daphne Lynn, in the studio with me today. Hello, Miss Daphne Lynn. How are you?
Hello, Ashton Lewis. How are you?
I'm well, baby. I'm well. Thank you. Thank you. Excited. Another day to share some really cool stuff with people. And that's what I like to do. So, as always, you hear me say that a lot. As long as we're growing, I'm loving it, so.
Exactly, yes. And just to answer your question, how am I enjoying the beautiful day out here? It's been cloudy for a while, so it's really sunny and really nice today.
It is definitely a Gulf Coast Gulf Coast day.
Spring morning.
Spring morning, absolutely, absolutely. So let's go right to today's subject. Now, today we're going to be covering a subject that is actually an element of the near-death experience that we call the actual life lessons or the after effects. And what we are referring to is that when someone has a near-death experience, most of the time they come away with some kind of insight and some kind of life lesson, or they've learned something, or it changed their life in some kind of way or something. So these are today's experiences are kind of like reflecting that, where people are coming back and giving us these life lessons that they've learned from these experiences, and these are lessons that we can actually take ourselves and apply in our lives.
Yes, this was actually one of our questions on one of the groups that we're part of, and we got a bunch of great responses, so thank you everyone who responded to this. We love you guys, and we appreciate your input on all of this, and just helping us to realize exactly what we can expect, how to live on this side. It's beauty in all areas of life, on this side or that side.
Very good, very good. And just to throw a little plug in, don't forget, for those of you who are new, welcome. And if you want more information on who we are and what we do, to go to our website. That's the NDE.world.
It's NDE.world.
Yeah, and you get more information on what we do there as well. And those who are returning, welcome back, guys. Welcome back.
Yay!
So here we go. The question of the day is, what do you feel was the most important lesson that you took away from your own experience? Okay. Now, we are asking near-death experiencers that these are firsthand, or people who have actually experienced these things. So it's not just we're not just drawing straws. We're actually taking questions and answers, from people who've actually, had experiences. So.
Yes.
All right, Daphne, would you like to read that first one? What we'll do is just read the actual comment, and then we'll actually comment on the comment.
Like we usually do when we have a question that sounds really, really good.
Let's do it.
Okay, so the first comment was, to love unconditionally, be happier, enjoy the experience and creation God has given us, and not to judge others. We are all connected, and God loves us all.
Very good. So there's actually a few nuggets in there.
Yeah.
Let's break that down. And keep in mind, these are life lessons that we can take right now, this very second, and apply these to your life, okay? These are things that you can take to change your life, to put you on a higher level of spirituality and love and appreciation for your fellow man, which is going to, it's just going to benefit you so much more on the other side.
Exactly. And this is one thing you hear from the other side, is that unconditional love. So on this side, to love unconditionally, and you hear it a lot, stop judging, stop condemning others, and that is mentioned in this comment as well, not to judge others. So God has given us everything we need to experience life, and that is life. I love that we are all connected. I have recently learned that. Well, it's been a while since I learned that, but
You're having a deeper appreciation for it.
Yes, exactly. A deeper appreciation for that.
That's a good one. And do not judge others. You see a lot of people, when you think about judgment, people have created a God in their image, and judgment is a human construct. And from what I understand, there is no judgment on the other side.
No.
Okay? And if you are talking about a being that we all call God, the source, this life, this love, this energy, whatever you want to call it, from what we understand from these experiences, and even people in religion preach this as well, is that this is the ultimate source of love, unconditional love. All right, that's hard for humans to wrap their heads around, because we are so ingrained from the time we are born, due to the way we're raised up, starting with our parents, and going into the education system.
Parents.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where we start getting our conditions from. No, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. A lot of times maybe a punishment could be inflicted in some kind of way. So you don't understand how we come into the world one way, but how quick and easy we're turned into something else.
Right.
And things become conditioned, and even our love becomes conditioned because we're raised up that way. Our parents teach us to love conditionally, because they loved us conditionally, whether they admit it or not. They may not admit that.
Because love is conditional on this side.
On this side, right. And in their heart of hearts, they know they love their child. They know they love their family, their friends, their mates, or whatever.
Right.
But it's just, you know what I'm saying.
I do. And in the Conversations with God book, this is brought out beautifully. So thank you for bringing that out. And I am enjoying reading that book as well. So definitely, we do love conditionally on this side. I love you, but only if this. I love you if you do or don't do that, or this, So there's conditions on love on this side.
Which ties in with the judgment. If God gave you free will, if we all have free will, which we might understand, source does not interfere with free will. Free will, you do what you want to do.
Right.
But don't complain to anybody if you're going to be paying some kind of consequences, some kind of price, some kind of repercussions because of the law of cause and effect. The reaping what you sow, the doing unto, you have to expect that, and you can't be upset with anybody if you bring all these things on yourself, you see. So,
right.
But anyway, the condition, we humans have a way of conditionally doing things, and that's the biggest challenge with religion that I see with mainstream religion is every religion has a condition, and that'd be a whole different episode, but that's the challenge. You can get to God, but learn about life and how to do this, but you have to do this, or you have no, you don't have to do anything. Right. You just have to understand and remember who you are. Remember that you already are all of this. You just have to come back to that. And once everybody knows this, the whole world will change. It will.
Yeah, and the world slowly is changing, and that I think that is the beauty on the other side, that unconditional love. What so many of these experiencers feel is unconditional love here, and it is conditional by what these experiencers are actually coming back and revealing to us.
Right, that's how we can relate and have the comparison.
Right.
Correct. Absolutely. So, and of course, like it's brought out, we are all connected. So you'll see that theme a lot.
Oh, yes.
A lot.
A lot.
So let's go ahead and go on to the next one here. The next comment says that the most important was the absolute certainty of existence being before, during, and after this life. This is not all there is to it by a long shot.
Wow. Yes. I really appreciate this because, before, during, and after this life, we are the soul. So we existed on the other side. And that's how, if you want to take it to the Bible, I knew you before you were born, comes into effect, because we are the soul, we are the life, but we're animating this avatar, this human flesh suit, this machine, whatever you want to call this body.
And each soul is a spark of the divine.
Yes.
It's of God. It is God.
Yes.
Manifesting in the flesh. All creation.
Yes.
All
and this person says, and there's a lot more to it by a long shot. So, I mean, this is just barely touching on anything. The thing is, we are life. We are soul. We're not just this here and now.
Absolutely. And it's going to get more into that. And you just kind of notice the actual commonalities on a lot of these comments as well. So and keep in mind, these are first-hand experiences, guys. Next one says that for me, it was the knowledge that I'm never alone, that I'm a part of a much larger body, that there are basically two forces at play: unconditional love, which is radical acceptance of all there is, and fear, conditional acceptance, hiding from the light of love. that we are truly one. What we do to others, we do to ourselves, and to the one that is all. This person gets it. Daphne, would you like to start the comments on that? And I'll chime in.
Yes, exactly. I mean, and that's one thing we hear a lot is the unconditional love. We mentioned it earlier, and I like the way that this person brought it out, is the radical acceptance of all there is. No matter what you do, how you live your life, what you have done according to religion is sin. It does not matter. Radical acceptance of all that there is. That's what unconditional love is. And then the fear, which is conditional acceptance, which is hiding from the light of love.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to chime in. You had mentioned the conversations with God book a while ago. I have just started that myself, and I'm actually just at this part here, so I don't want to comment like I really understand or really gotten much into what I'm reading here. But within this conversation, the creator tells Neil that how he started out as all-knowing, but wanted to actually be experiencing itself.
Yes, yes, I remember.
And started breaking off into its little soul babies, soul children kind of thing.
And believe it or not, I had heard this before from other NDEs that, the source energy wanted to experience.
Yeah.
He couldn't experience himself, so it created all these little parts of that
Mini
could
me's.
go out, mini me's, go out and experience and bring back to, and that there's wonder in that.
It's a very interesting concept when you really get to think about it, but it really makes sense the more you learn about it. But within that conversation, that part of the book, the creator says there's only two things that humans were created to be driven by, and those forces are unconditional love and fear. There's no such thing as evil. There's no such thing as the good and the bad, all that. No, it's either love. You either love unconditionally,
right,
okay, or you have some kind of fear, which is tied in more into your maybe untrained ego or your unbalanced ego, or, something tied in somewhere that you just don't have right or under control. You live in fear some kind of way.
Right.
Unconditional love doesn't know fear.
I think I'm sorry to take this here, but it really just reminds me of religion. Religion, the God of the Bible, most people serve out of fear because they don't want to be eternally punished.
That's a God that man created.
Exactly.
Guys, get that book too.
The fear is lack of love. So we've got to stop fearing things, because we've said it time and again on this podcast. Stop living in fear, because that lowers your vibration. Stop watching the news, for goodness sakes. I mean, I haven't watched the news in years, and I have felt so much better for not doing that. Yes, I mean, that lowers...
Be careful with not just news, but anything that goes into your mind,
Yeah, anything
any of the
that
senses.
creates fear.
Be careful.
Be very careful, yeah.
Absolutely. So, but get that book. I would highly recommend it to anybody. It definitely gives you so much insight. It really starts to break things down and gives you a whole different understanding and a concept of things, and it's so in harmony with the actual near-death experiences. That's what I'm really digging about it so far. I'm, like I said, I've just gotten into it, but it's on my right next to my reading the top of everything. So I am reading it as we speak. So the more I learn about that, I'll share it. I know you've got it coming up next after the one you're reading now. So
I've actually been reading two at the same time. So yeah,
so
I have already started
good
it.
Deal,
yes.
Good deal. So we'll be able to share more of that later too, because that's got some really good insight.
It's intriguing for me. I mean, it's just amazing learning.
But it does talk about how we are driven by that fear or unconditional love. Every action that we do, everything that we do, has these two foundational. He calls them the sub, the sub energies, but the sub feelings, the sub emotions. He said those are there. He said there's only two that I give you. I've given y'all. One of the two.
Right.
And that's how people are operating through. You're either unconditional love or you're operating through some kind of fear. And you can tell who's doing what.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And back to the comment, the knowledge that they are never alone. You know, so many of us go through life, oh, I'm experiencing life all on my own. There's no one here to help me. This person understands that never alone. I mean, I don't know exactly what they're experiencing in their life, but for me, never being alone means, and learning about the spirit guides, your guardian angels, all the beings of light that are out there to assist you and guide you and help you along your way in your life. You may not be aware that they are there, but they are there. So, and also that we are truly one with everything around us.
That is what all of the great masters have ever taught us, Daphne, because I think of Christianity is, let's say, like one of the, I think it is the largest from what I understand. I need to check into that, but I was going to say one of the largest religions in the world. I'd go as far as saying it is the largest. I'd have to, look into the actual stats.
Yeah.
But, Christianity has nothing to do with the original Jesus, and we know that.
Right.
Because he was more Buddhist. He taught, they lived by the way, and his followers were called followers of the way. Okay, they were not called Christians. That came in, way later.
Right.
So, but he taught oneness. All of them taught a oneness. He knew that he was one with the all. He knew he was one with what we call God, He knew he was one with what he called the all-parent, which he believed in a mother-father. He didn't believe in an all-heavenly man figure, which came in later.
And this person in this comment actually says this, and to the one that is all. So there you go. You have these NDEers that are coming back and giving us these nugs from the other side that touch base and are in unison with the teachings.
Right. The original,
of the ascended masters.
Yes. Before, some of the actual religions had gotten a hold of it and created their own
deities
and things like that.
But also the lesson here I think is beautiful, and if we really start working through love, unconditional love, and without judgment or condemnation, we will realize that what we do to others, we're actually doing to ourselves.
There's so much truth in that.
Yes, yeah. We really have to stop judging, stop condemning, and
anything you see it for what it is. Don't put up any kind of judgment. Don't question. Don't do anything. And that's the challenge for a lot of people. They see something, bam, they first want to do this. No. Leave it alone.
Oh, yeah.
Don't bring up any kind of judgment. If something comes up, then ask yourself, well, what is it that I have an issue with, that I'm trying to deal with, that I can't get able to deal with, whatever, because the issue is coming from you, it's not coming from, outside. Outside could be triggers, but whatever you carry, that's coming from you.
Yeah, it's a reflection of your own. Yeah.
That's right. All soul searching begins with the self. You got to start with you.
Yes, well said.
Would you like to take the next one?
Yes, of course. So love with all you have. And please realize that happiness is not in materialistic things. You take none of this with you when you move on.
So there's actually a few things in there. Good little comment there. Would you like to go ahead and maybe break that down for us, Daphne?
Yeah, yes. Love with all you have. And that is one thing that we cannot express enough.
Love is the key, guys. It's the key to all. It's the key to everything.
It is. Most
However, we have to incorporate the unconditional.
And it's hard for us living in a dualistic world to love unconditionally. We can do our best to, but we're not going to, I don't think we're fully going to get that accomplished in this world.
No, it definitely can work at it.
Yes, you can definitely work on it.
And the more you work at it, the better you will get at it.
Yes, exactly. It gets easier to love that way. And stop judging. I mean, once you can stop judging everything, it's easier to love.
It's easier to live, too.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Less aggravating. Now, I like this next part of this comment here that I personally agree with is the part where it says to please.
Emphasize, please.
Yeah, emphasize, please. Realize that happiness is not in materialistic things. Okay, first of all, materialistic things, for those of you who do not know, I'm sure everybody does know, materialistic things are things of this world. I guess things
the desire of need. I need
the
this.
Cars, the houses, the trucks, the materialistic things that man-made, creations. I guess the things that we've created ourselves. One must understand the difference between the natural world and the materialistic world. So many
Right.
people are caught up in what's the materialistic world, and they think that's reality, and they can't find happiness because they're looking through materialistic filters. They're spending all their time trying to achieve these materialistic goals and get all of these materialistic items so they can live this materialistic lifestyle. Okay, like it says here, happiness is not in materialistic things. Comments?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think of some of the homeless people that we're familiar with. They are some of the most happy, carefree people that I've met.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And they have a pile of clothes sitting beside them.
Some
Some
do.
some don't even have that. I mean, it's just amazing when you can live your life without having the thought of or the desire, I have to have this, I need that.
influence of the materialistic world,
Yes.
which you will discover ultimately there's no happiness in. Now, even if you want to use, say Jesus himself as a role model, which I love the role model, he said that there's happiness in giving,
Yes.
than there is taking and receiving, or just receiving. But it's also said there's happiness in being conscious of your spirituality, or that you are a spiritual being.
Yeah.
So he says that, there's happiness in that spirituality and understanding, for lack of words.
Oh, yeah. And we got to realize we can't now take any of this with us anyway. Yeah.
Well, absolutely. So they get you thinking as far as, materialistic things and materialistic views. Ask yourself where you're at in the big picture and put things in perspective, put things in balance. Next one here says that my NDE removed any doubt that the afterlife is 100% real. No faith required. That life here is short. Every day is a blessed gift. Help others when you can.
Yes, we hear that so much. That comment on the end of that is that helping others when you can. It just reminds me of one of the episodes that we done, about different ways that you can help others and just live a serving life.
Yeah. Was it on benevolence, I think? We had
I think
lots
it
of
was
different
the
examples.
one on benevolence.
Just go to the NDE WORLD, guys, and it should be somewhere. There's just click on the
Benevolence,
links.
I think,
and,
was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there should be a link on there somewhere on benevolence. But it gives you a lot of different examples how you can actually help others. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And this person and every NDEer can tell you, even people that have had out-of-body experiences can tell you that there is an afterlife, that this is not all there is. And there's no faith required. No religion carries over. So,
Oh, that's definitely a common theme as well. Yeah, I like that, how you said that, and how this person commented that there's no doubt that the afterlife is real.
Yes.
In fact, I personally talked to, well, actually, it's my own brother. So this is a guy I know really well.
yes.
I remember years ago, and he said he'd be glad to come on here and share his story with us.
His OBE?
Yeah,
NDE?
I was very familiar because, years ago, I recall an incident where he'd gotten into an accident and we nearly lost him. And I do know he was in ICU for a while, but I never knew anything of that because I didn't know anything, about the out-of-body experiences, the
Exactly,
afterlife.
yeah.
I didn't know anything about that back then because this was like back.
Y'all were kids.
Yeah, this was like way back. I don't remember.
Early teens?
Yes, absolutely. So, but anyway, long story short, he had actually an OBE where he recalls, coming out of the body. He said he said he didn't go to the light or anything like that, but he did come out and he floated up to the top of the ceiling in the hospital. And he said he was just watching like 6, doctors and nurses and all. He said, I could tell you all their faces and everything that happened. And this was like I said, years ago, probably, I don't know. I'd have to do the math. I would say in the 80s. Yeah, probably the late 80s.
Late 80s, yeah.
Mid-late 80s, so do the math. That's quite a few years back, but he says, I can remember like it was yesterday. And I said, really? Interesting. I said, tell me more. But anyway, he said he went up and he was watching everything, and they had put like a air hose kind of thing down his throat. I forgot what you call them for breathing. And he said he was watching them, holding down, strapping down. He was fighting it, gasping for air and trying to get that thing out while they were holding him and strapping him and everything. So, but he said he didn't feel anything while he was watching. He said it's just the wildest experience, And I'm like, I said, man, you had an out of body experience, dude. He said, what?
Yeah.
He said, I didn't go to the light and start walking in the light and all walking in heaven. I'm not. I said, no. I don't know if he actually really understood. I guess it's kind of a new concept to him as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Like to a lot of us, we all have to learn it at different times. But he said he'd be glad to come on here and share that. So I'm like, wow. But
yeah, get more details on it.
My point is, absolutely, is the afterlife is real.
Yes, yes.
Like I told my brother, I said, that was you. I said, that was you who came out of that body and looking down at that avatar, that body down on that, that operating table while they was trying to get you under control. I said, that's you. That's what goes on. That's that after. You
could. I mean, I was there, so I actually recall the look on his face when he realized that was him. It was like something clicked within him. Oh, wow. Yeah, that was me. I wasn't the physical body.
Right.
So
you are, but you aren't,
Right. It's part of this, part and part together.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I'm looking forward to having him on to get his full experience on that.
as well. And now he said he'd be more than happy to come on and share that with us. Now, but to tie in that experience, this person here commented that I have no doubt that the afterlife is 100% real. There are actually people out there that teach that, hey, this is it, bam, you die, you go back to ground, that's it.
It's over. Yeah.
But the afterlife is very real. Now, one really key element here, it says that life here is short. I guess there's kind of different ways to look at it, but I guess maybe per incarnation.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, you can go on and on here as far as life goes forever, as far as I understand. However, in this incarnation, life is pretty short. You here one day and the next day you're gone, and it's just it really goes by pretty quick.
It really does. And I think it was in the Conversations with God book. It was in the movie, I do believe. In the movie where he asked how many lives he's had, and he's had like thousands of lives, and it's just like, wow. I mean, there's all kinds of YouTube videos out there, movies on this.
First-hand experiences.
Yes, I mean, really do your research on this. It is amazing. We are the soul. We continue on, and we can come back and experience again and again and again. You're
so right. It's amazing when you really start making sense of it. And I'm going through the transition part of coming out of the religious indoctrination. But I do have my spiritual upbringing, spiritual side. I've always been more spiritual than religious.
Me as well, yeah.
But I do have a upbringing of a more of a religious indoctrination that the Bible is the, directly sent here by God, dictated by angels. Jesus is the Savior of all mankind. I mean, I had a certain belief system that I no longer agree with, because now I'm learning stuff, firsthand experiences of people who are actually experience these things. And, it's a lot different than what the church has taught us all these years.
Exactly. And there's so much more beauty in what these experiencers have learned and are bringing back that knowledge from the other side, as compared to the biblical thing of it, the whole Bible, the concept of it. Yeah.
Which we can do well, actually, we could probably do a bunch of topics on that, but I'm not really interested in doing anything in the Bible. That's not right now.
Yeah.
So let's move on along. But the key here, they say that life is very short and every day is a blessed gift. So keep that in mind and help others every chance you get, because in the end, that's all that matters. It's not going to matter how much money you made. It's not going to matter what kind of social status you made it up to. It's not going to matter what kind of position you are at your work or your job or your school or anything that you've done. It's not going to matter about all of your accomplishments, any of your trophies, any of your certificates, any of your ego-built world. None of that will exist. It's going to count. It's not going to make a bit of anything on the other side. The only thing that's going to matter is how you treated others and the love that you shared.
Yeah, I mean, and just from listening to the different episodes and people's experiences in relation to the materialistic things and goals that we've achieved on the side, on the other side, the guides, your ones that stand in there with you with your life review, or the beings, whatever it is there with you, are indifferent to all of that. It does not matter to them. What matters is, how did you love?
Very well said. Exactly. And the more sooner that you understand that, as a person, the much better your life is going to be, and you can start going through that transformation as well. All of this.
Oh my gosh, I had a complete 360.
All of us are in complete 360s. We're all
Oh my gosh.
one direction. We're all looping around something, going through changes.
Oh my gosh, my belief system has just expanded. I'm gonna tell you, I feel so enlightened and so blessed, so much more alive than I did when I was in any religion.
Right.
I really do, and it is such a wonderful, wonderful feeling.
Right. And like the great master, one of the great masters said, keep seeking, and it'll be exposed to you. It'll be
Yes.
brought to you. It'll be, keep looking and you'll find it. Keep knocking, it'll be open. Just keep searching and you'll find the truth.
That's right. That's right.
So moving on along, Daphne, would you like to take the next one there?
Sure. It says that we are far more powerful with our intention than most of us realize. We have a vibration. When we are attuned to our most authentic self, we can do far more than we think we can. It's about intention.
Yes, it is.
This sounds like so much like one of the ladies that I chat with. So this sounds so much like her. So if this was her, I'm picking up on it. But that we are so much more powerful than we believe we are, and that our intention
is everything.
Yeah.
It really is. I believe that intention is the fuel that drives the actual life review machine. Okay, the life review, if you look at it from this perspective, life review is the concept of heaven and hell and karma, everything all wrapped up into one, okay?
Yep.
And the intention behind the experiences, okay, that you've experienced in your life, the intention behind each one is the key. It's the driving force. In other words, you could have, maybe like supported charities with the money that you made, and you was in this group and that group, and you donated this and did all of this and that. But did you do it from a place of unconditional love, or did you come from a place of, hey, look at me, and just trying to, maybe bring some attention to yourself some kind of way? I mean, because there are people out there like that, So what is your intention? Do you have attention where you question it without doubt? No, let's help this person. Get over here and get this. I mean, you intend to help someone. You intend to, what is your intention? You intend to love.
Right. And I'm thinking too, even, hurting someone.
Yeah, what is your
you may
intention?
have hurt someone and not even realize you did, and not intending to do that.
So that puts it under a different perspective. Absolutely, great example.
Yes.
What's the difference in, you're driving down the road and God forbid, accidentally a child pulls out in front of you on his little bike and you hit the bike and kill the child, or they,
there
they
was
transition.
no intent with it.
There's okay. Whereas, somebody made you mad because they didn't agree with something that you said,
and
or
you
didn't
plan a way to kill them.
Yeah, and you start thinking of a way, how can I
That's
revenge?
intention.
How can I, what is your intention? Your intention is to rebel, to go back, to harm, to hurt.
Right, that ripple.
Yeah, so intention is the fuel that I believe that drives the life review experience. And how you acted and all when you're experiencing all this, that's going to be your heaven and hell.
Yes.
If you treated people like crap here, guess what? You're going to have to experience that. That's not going to be pleasant, I wouldn't think.
Oh, yeah. No.
But it's not a judgment in overall, from what I'm understanding. So.
All right.
But anyway,
you're going to have to feel your own experiences from the other person's perspective.
Exactly. So that's the main thing. Intention is everything, guys. So think about the intention before you do something. What kind of intent that you got, because that's going to come back in the big picture. Your intention, whether you intend to do love, intend to give love, or you intend to harm. Looking at the clock, we've got time for probably 2 more comments. And what we'll do, I'll tell you what, let's do this. Let's take these last 2, and we'll just pick up on another whole episode, and we'll pick up with the second half of the comments. How about that?
Sounds good to me.
So, guys, we'll just do a part 2 of this. Let's do it. Yeah,
yes.
Part 2. Well, we have 2 more right here. If you want to go ahead and take the first one, or do you want to take the last one? Which one you want? I'll take which one you don't want. You take the other.
Okay.
Tell me.
I'll take this first one. That's fine.
Sounds good.
It says, from my NDE, a feeling of utter peace, and also the certainty that we survive physical death. From my OBE, a sense of wonder and awe at the magnificence of the universe and the beauty of the afterlife. Plus the quote unquote, wholeness of being filled with the knowledge of everything sadly was lost when I returned to my body. Oh my gosh, you hear this so very much, that when you return back to source, that instant download of
That's
knowledge, all knowing.
You connect back to who you are, which is all knowing, which is God. God is all knowing. You're going back to that source, which, like that book I was telling you, the Conversations with God talks about. You know, you're him or it experience it itself here and bringing that
and
back.
that's why you get that all knowing as soon as you
tune
go to
the other
in.
side, bam, you're back to that. You're connected to the source. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you bring all
amazing.
of this information back with you, and see how can you learn, and what have you learned, and have you grown, and how can you apply that as a soul to be able to grow.
Yeah. And this person, they lost that complete knowing when they returned to the body, but they're aware that they were tuned in and knew everything. So,
Well,
you hear that a lot.
we hear that a lot, and the only thing I can think about is that, maybe this person or all people who have the same experience, and it happens a lot, the human brain is not quite possible. Maybe it can understand all, the all, but I think the all is when you get back to that spiritual soul being connected to that soul, that source, what we call God, or, that's when that all knowing happens. But maybe at one time we were or had ways to tap into that all knowingness. I don't know.
It reminds me of reading in the Conversations with the God book, is that he says, you already know all these things. You just have to remember that.
That's right.
So,
True. So
we do, but we're not attuned into it.
yeah.
So
And what about the spiritual amnesia that they say you sometimes choose when you come down here to incarnate?
most people do choose amnesia. Yeah, and there's a few that remember their past lives or other things about the afterlife. But
Yeah.
that's very, very interesting. But getting back to the comment, the upper part of this comment, because we commented on the end of it, was the feeling of utter peace and certainty that we survived the physical death.
Right. That's kind of like what we were saying earlier. Even from my brother's experience, there was something that went on after he was watching his body there, going through all that trauma.
Yes.
And we've went through thousands of reviews, or studied others who've actually went through thousands of reviews. In other words, this is not a new game for us, and we've studied the near-death experience world for a while, and we understand this and we grasp it. And because once you start looking into the near-death experiences, you'll see that there are common threads. That they all resonate. Everyone has its own uniqueness, its own characteristics. However, they all have certain elements. Not all have every element in it, when people experience it, but they do experience certain elements that are across the board, without question, coming from something higher, bigger,
Higher source.
something than, than us. Here, right now,
Yeah, most definitely. And I love the feeling of utter peace.
Yeah, you get that a lot too.
Yeah, most definitely. And we can tap into peace here.
Right.
I think our desires and intentions get in the way of us fully being able to experience peace and true happiness here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and move on.
Let's do this one more.
Yeah. And we'll pick up with another episode, and we'll start with the second half and get that out as well. Because this is some really good stuff. This is stuff that we can start practicing right now. You don't have to wait till you die. You don't have to wait to the other side. You don't have to wait to even have a near-death experience or out-of-body experience. No. These are practices that you can start using right now.
Yes.
All of us.
Exactly, yes.
Right here, right now.
Right now.
Now, the last comment, let's go ahead and do this has some really good things in it, and we'll go ahead and comment on it as well. So it says that this is what this person learned, their life lesson from their near-death experience, okay? And it's this, that the quote-unquote other side, okay, is to be looked forward to and not to be afraid of. My encounters were amazing, and 3 times I didn't want to come back.
Wow, 3 times.
Each time I had the most phenomenal experiences. I had a different take on life and was not so angry and bitter towards others. I had more patience and understood sympathy and empathy, how critical it was. These experiences made me realize how beautiful life can be. When you have this, you understand that it's just a learning phase, like school. What you learn down here is important to others and to make your life better.
Wow, beautiful. And a beautiful one to end this episode on. The vision that's coming to my mind in hearing this is that ripple effect. Oh. The drop in the ocean or the sand on the seaside at the beach. I mean, you are one speck in this, but you have such an effect on everything and everyone around you.
That's right. So you got to love. Put out the love, because it's going to come back. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can't help it. It's going to come back.
Yes.
You can't get away from it.
Yes, I know. It's amazing, and this person has had 3 encounters with death. So
they
the physical death.
Beautiful experiences, yeah.
Yes, phenomenal experiences, and I love the fact that this person brought it out that they had a different take on life, and that they were not so angry and bitter towards others, but had more patience and understood sympathy and empathy and how critical that is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's beauty. I mean, you think about, just in my own experience from learning about these accounts and the afterlife, it really does give you a deeper understanding toward everything. It takes away fear. It helps you to be more patient with others. It helps you to understand people better. It helps you to not judge and condemn others when you learn that you are one with them.
Right. Like this person says that this is a learning phase.
Yes.
Yes and no. I'm kind of like leaning more towards I was reading the Neil Donald Walsh, the Conversations with God book, and it was saying that we already know everything, so we're here to remember that we know everything, not here to learn because you already know.
Reminds me of the Remember book.
Yeah, so that's and like I said, I'm just kind of scratching that area. So the more I get into it and be able to wrap my head around it and understand these concepts, the more I'll be able to share with it. I don't want to talk too much of it right now because I'm still learning a lot of it myself.
Oh, so. Most definitely. And you see from these experiencers, majority of these people did not want to come back.
No. Most of them
They want to stay on the other side, and a lot of times they do not have a choice. No, it's not your time, and
they got unfinished business.
Yes,
typically.
And then there's some that are given the option to stay or go.
Should I stay or should I go?
That's right.
That's right. Absolutely.
This person also understood sympathy and empathy, and we have an episode on empathy. Remember?
That's right. That's
so,
right. Get a little plug there. Okay.
Go back and check that episode out as well. It helps you to really understand more in depth what empathy is. Yes.
Empathy is a characteristic that every human should have.
Oh, most definitely.
Every human. So
yes.
Yeah, it's a good plug there. Yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah, we'll go to the NDE WORLD website and look up the area on empathy. Yeah,
most definitely.
Very good.
Check that out.
Okie dokie. Now, let's go ahead and wrap things up here. So, any final comments, Miss Daphne?
Love, 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 love with all that you have. And just be the better person. Just be the better person.
Absolutely. Every forest starts with one tree, guys. If you want the world to change, you have to change yourself first. Don't expect to, others. Don't worry about others. Work on you. Get yourself fixed up. And if everybody worked on themselves, guess what? The overall collective consciousness will grow as well. So we all need to work on this together as individuals.
Yeah, and be the change that you want to see in the world. Be that change.
Be that change and learn from these, these experiences that are giving us nuggets.
Yes.
And the key is love.
Yes.
If you can take anything away from anything we've ever said and anything you'll ever learn in life, just love. Unconditional. Mm-hmm. Okay, unconditional means you're not going to be pushing your ideas on another person. You're not going to be condemning another person because they don't agree with you. You're not going to be putting another person down because they don't share your beliefs or whatever. Are you going to condemn them for eternity? No. That's not love. That's conditional. Okay, so you are walking in a fear. You're walking in more of a darkness, for lack of words, spiritual darkness. Okay,
right.
Spiritual light doesn't hurt others. You don't put other people down. You don't try to change people's minds. Right. Because now you're imposing on the soul and the will of another soul. That is what's called blasphemy, or the ultimate sin is to go against someone else's will, or
That would be harming
to
them.
manipulate them in some kind of way against their will.
Right.
To do anything against a person's will, because the will is supposed to be the greatest gift that God gave itself. And if we are all God, he gave us, he said it's the greatest gift. You got free will, you do what you want. The soul has free will. The soul will choose what it wants to do, so you choose on what is best for the all, not just for yourself.
Right.
Be the light.
Well, that's it. Exactly. Be the light. Be that change you want to see in the world.
Yeah,
and it'll
absolutely.
happen.
Very good. Very good comment there.
Be the light.
Be the light. With that thought in mind, guys, we love you so much. May peace be with you all. Until next time.
Y'all let your light shine.
For information about the NDE World Podcast, visit NDE.world. That's NDE.world.